Hey uplifters, welcome back to our channel. So I have another video for you guys today, uh, talking about obedience again and focusing in on being obedient when you don't want to. I'm sure all of us can uh, resonate with. You don't always want to do what you know you have to do or what you're supposed to do. So, um, I've been doing some reading on obedience and stuff. That's why I'm doing these videos. I want to read you just some of the stuff that I've been trying to implement and stuff that I've been learning as I've been reading and uh, going deeper into what obedience is, what it means, and learning for myself how to be more obedient. Because I know I can say I have not been as obedient as I should, and am growing and learning and trying to do better. But one of the things I read, it was from a commentary on just obedience, and one of them says like obedience to God, which under that it says Christians believe that obeying God is the highest moral duty. It involves following God's commandments, living according to his principles, and aligning one's actions and choices with his will. This is based on the beliefs that God is the ultimate authority and source of truth. And as believers, I'm sure we all believe that, but are we living that way? I know I can say I don't always live that way, and I'm working on getting to that point. Um, and like I know I said in my last video how faith and obedience are normally go hand in hand. They're kind of right there with each other. Something else that I saw in the commentary, it said how obedience is often seen as a demonstration of one's faith in God. The Bible teaches that faith without works is dead, James 2:26, meaning that genuine faith leads to obedient actions. Christians are called to demonstrate their faith through their actions and obedience to God's will. And that's a different way of thinking about it. Like your obedience is a show of your faith. Like, do you really have faith in God? Are you showing it through your actions? Or are you questioning at every step, at every turn? Are you tiptoeing around? Are you going around something instead of just going at it the way you probably should, going down the straight and narrow, instead of finding a different avenue that you think makes more sense, instead of doing what is actually in front of you that may not make sense, but it's not supposed to make sense necessarily to us. And if it made sense to us, and is what we did, how does God get the glory from that? So we have to be faithful in what is put in front of us. And I know in the Bible where Jesus had to be obedient when he didn't want to. Like he is at a point where he's sweating blood. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've never been in a place where I feel so much anxiety or feel so much, I don't even know the word to really use, where I feel that much toward towards or around something I have to do where I'm sweating blood. Yeah, I've been in a place where I've been anxious and been sweating, but sweating blood, like, that's like a whole other thing. Like, he asks his father um to not make him suffer, not have to go through what he knew he had to do, but in the end he did it anyway because he was obedient, which is the example of what we need to be doing every single day. Dying to our flesh, denying our flesh, doing what we are called to do, not what we would prefer to do or what we want to do. And I want to read y'all a couple more things that I just read in my readings. And if you want to know where those specific Bible verses are that I was like mentioning about Jesus sweating blood and the asking his father to not make him suffer, that one is Luke 22, 42, and I'll read it just so you know. And I'm reading the Contemporary English Version, which says, "Father, if you will, please don't make me suffer by drinking from this cup, but do what you want and not what I want." So even though God asked his father not to make him suffer, he still said to do what he wants and not what he wanted. So to still do his will, even though he did not want to, he still told God to have his way. And in Luke 22:44, also the Contemporary English Version, says Jesus was in great pain and prayed so sincerely that his sweat fell to the ground like drops of blood. That's one. That's that version. But I know in other versions it says that he was sweating blood. But either way, like, that's really, really intense and shows just how much pain he was in about what he had to do. But again, he was obedient and did it anyway because he knew he had to do it. Are we that? Are we like that? Do we do that with things that we know we have to do, or even if we don't know, and it's in front of us, something we have to do, and we don't want to do it? Are we still gonna do it anyway? Do we do it anyway? As believers, we're called to, but have we? Do we? That's questions to think about and to try to push ourselves to be more like Christ. Think about what he had to do. I'm sure nothing that we're facing, I know nothing that we're facing is on that kind of level. We're not being crucified. Like, it might feel like crucifixion in our sense, like in our life where we are, but it's not a literal crucifixion. So yeah, it might be hard, but what comes from the other side? I think we have to think more about the end and not be so in the present, get out of our emotions. Something I've heard been said, not necessarily to me specifically, actually it's said to Sean by others, to get their emotions out of it. As far as being obedient, yeah, we can't rely on our emotions. Our emotions can lie to us. They can make things seem bigger than they are. So when it's time for us to, as believers, to do something, to are we putting God first before our emotions, before our wants, before our desires? Are we aligning our desires and our wants with God's will? So a lot of times we're not getting what we want in life because we're not aligning that and we're not in God's will. I know in a video Sean just did, he talked about, I forgot who and all that. You should go back and watch one of his latest videos because I know it was one of those where someone, she was barren, couldn't have children, and prayed. And when she prayed for a son and prayed that he would, prayed that she would dedicate him to him, that he would be a living sacrifice, that is when she got pregnant with her son. Because her prayers are finally aligned with what God wanted for her, not just what she wanted. So he knew what he needed to be done was going to be done, which is why she finally got her desire. And I think I'm going to end this video on just a couple of the readings that I read through the commentary on obedience. And just a couple of them. Like one saying that obedience is the hallmark of our salvation. That although we are saved by grace through the redemptive work of the cross and by the blood of Jesus, it is our obedience sets us apart as authentic children of God. Because we are not of the world, we're just in it. We have to be set apart. We can't live like everyone else. How would anyone know a believer from a not believer if we're doing all the same things that they're doing? We have to be set apart. We have to operate differently, and that comes in through our obedience to God and what he says and what he's asked for us to do. But I'm not gonna keep this video too long. I think we've dived into obedience when you don't want to a little bit, and I hope this just helps you think about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Are you being obedient to what God has called you to do, or are you just going through the motions? Are you just doing what it is you want to do, and are you not setting yourself apart? But that's all for me today, you guys. I'll see y'all guys next time. Bye.